I think I was looking into it. Oh. Did your hair cut, Molly?
Yeah. Well, you make me feel bad. You're all noticing everything. And
I'm noticing.
Okay, says it's streaming on YouTube, so hopefully for grabs there. Don't trip over that cord.
No, it's there, so.
What time is it, Tony?
It's only 22. 6:38. Got 20 minutes yet. I figured this place would be packed by now. I figured they'd be showing up at 6 o'clock.
yeah, I'm okay.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Might want to make that announcement too.
Yeah.
I got it, but if you want, it's up to you. Do you want me to do it? Or?
Then you're able to announce it. Sounds like when you say it, it's going to be heard more readily than me down here. Do you want to give them? Do you want to give a 30-second?
Talking to me or Jen?
Well, I think we ought to.
I think there should be.
Yeah.
Whether you want to do a minute.
Then.
Well, and the other thing is,
I can get that.
And the 4 minutes are after they state your name and address.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Name, address.
I know it's about good minutes here.
Shoot, I forgot about that. You know what?
Because there was something.
You don't even have to do that tonight.
Well, we are going to do the minutes.
Okay.
But,
Correction?
yeah, there is, where we talk about the driveways.
Yeah.
50-foot needs to also include the road apron.
Okay. Okay.
So we do need to add that to it.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, near miss. Okay. That and another thing was instead of PASSED, it'd be PASD. So, but this would be 20 feet paved parking area. Okay, let's see. Not required. It was let's see. Well, it had to do with more than 50 feet from the street to the structure. Then they only required a 20-foot parking area plus the paved roadway approach.
Okay.
So we do need to just amend that. Okay. But we can approve it as amended then.
Can I have your copy of your, or is that okay?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, I don't expect a ton of people. I expect about 20. That's just my gut feeling. Maybe I'm wrong. But I've already decided, I don't know, if there's 60 people, we're going to be here 4 hours, okay? But
That's past my bedtime.
You'll get a note excusing you, okay? Holly is planning on being there, yes.
That would be the committee then, right?
Yes, that'd have a full commission in here.
Yeah, it's a commission, not a committee, but.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it is. I feel like a life sentence, I'm not sure. Good evening, Butch. How are things over your way?
Oh my God. Busy.
Yeah.
I was hoping to have Heinz car out today. He was hoping to take it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So aiming for tomorrow.
Right. Have you met the mayor of?
Yeah, we talked on the phone. Yeah, way back about my nephew.
Yes.
Yes.
That's Rick.
Yes.
What's her? She got the Royal Firehouse.
Yeah.
The Rolls Royce, yeah.
Okay.
I knew you were going to be here, but I want to invite you. September the 5th, 4 o'clock. We're having a 40-year celebration at the shop.
Okay.
40 years of business, so that Lancaster Chamber of Commerce stuff's coming up, ribbon cutting and stuff like that. Yeah, 40 years.
That's awesome. Long time. That's something like, I had a couple of people talk to me about maybe starting the chamber back up.
Yeah.
There was a chamber.
There was, and that was one of the things that attracted us to this town. Sure. We got to meet them, the CIC, are they still around?
Well, as far as I know, now, Craig gets it still on it. Jim Keller was on it, but I don't think I'm not sure if Jim is anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll have to call Craig and let him know.
They are still around because Bittler, Ronnie Bittler. I'm Pat Ranch.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking of too many people.
Brattle, he was on it at the time.
Yeah.
He came out to our previous shop,
Right.
talked to us and stuff like that when we were coming to town.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
Yeah.
just wanted to
That'd
say
be awesome.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you get the P2 out,
Oh, don't worry, I'll be calling
swing
you.
by, okay?
More than swing by, you're going with me.
You got a car he's finishing up. It's been a long-term project. It was supposed to just be a little service job, okay?
I've seen some of them.
It came in for, let me see if I got a picture handy real quick before Ken redid the wood coach on it, and sheet metal, all the body related stuff. We did the. What is it when you're looking for a picture? You see every other picture than what you're looking for.
Yep. Oh yeah. Didn't know you had that many pictures, did you?
No. Here's one from a few weeks ago. It's more together now. We got headlights and bumpers and all that stuff on it. And when it leaves, he's wanting to drive it on an 8,000-mile trip.
Oh,
Yeah. Year 1935. Have you ever heard of free position driving? What we call convertibles, what they call drop decks. Position one, the top is fully enclosed, like you do. Position two, the helmet would be above the front seat passenger.
Just see if you can see
The
this.
driver folds back, and it's completely.
Can you see it from the?
And then the position's fully down. So,
I do not have a marker on me, I'm sorry.
I do not either.
It's blue, but
That'll work. It's just so they can see the one.
I don't know. I can't color in
If
the
we had a
lines
yellow
very
car,
good.
we could have even just said yellow car.
I think I'll run down to the office and get some yellow cardstock.
I think if you just see the,
I sell all kinds of cars, but I don't drive.
I better color better, right?
that works. But you can't really see the details. It's just.
Uh-oh.
Here, here. No.
Someone from the room downstairs. And did you see? We now have microphones for each one of you on
Oh,
council.
nice. And are they battery operated?
Yeah, same one.
Yeah.
Hopefully now I can hear a little bit better during the meeting.
Okay, okay, hold on.
So,
Oh, yeah. How you go? I'm looking at Barry in the car, 78.
Okay, mine was 79.
Yeah. Yeah. Same era. Good case.
So Bobby was here behind me.
Oh, okay.
You could. You and Trent Bernard.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, he did the interior.
Yeah, I'm a good.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll let you.
Yeah, don't worry.
Hello.
I've got written down. That's one of them. I said, yes.
I did too. Wow.
How are you? I don't know if you want to sit next to me. Oops. You don't want to get you don't want to get
They were civilized.
Oh, we're gonna yeah. No, it's gonna be, whole ton of filmed before live studio.
Okay, so here's the microphone.
It is not, you gotta turn it on. Okay.
You're gonna trade me places.
Not really.
So that
See,
you're closer to the
Did you hear
microphone.
what he just, well, I'm just like, man, she doesn't want to sit next to me. She's afraid to sit next to me.
She's afraid to get cooties right now is what it is. Yeah, Miss Quinn. And
Is there anybody else here from?
yes, the young lady sitting behind her there, I don't remember her name. 'Cause she was at let's see, she at the public meeting developers put on there. I have no idea, but I'm expecting maybe about 20 people. So,
How many?
I'm guessing 20 people.
Yeah.
Because really the last meeting, there was only about 5 or 6 that really said much. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
You're gonna give them instructions.
Yep. 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 Yeah. I'm going to just basically tell them what a public hearing is, how we're going to handle it. We are going to do the minutes. The last meeting, just get that out of the way. And then well, get through the minutes, then we'll get through and as far as public hearing, see how we're going to handle this. And then we'll turn it over to you. Then it goes to Hortons and they have the opportunity to. I told them probably like 15 minutes for presentation. Yeah, I'm not going to hold them to that, but yeah, some of that neighborhood.
Well, I'm gonna be about 7 or 8. I'm gonna answer a bunch of questions before they get to questions.
Yeah.
I wasn't at the last meeting.
Since you weren't there.
I can just stay.
Right.
Except Mrs. Myers.
Yep. She's afraid I was going to bull. So she's trying to keep me Okay. It's about 5 till.
Couple more minutes, I'll go get the sheets and bring them down.
Okay.
I'll leave one up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I will let you know, this will probably be my last one.
Oh,
I'm going to teach Matt how to do it.
okay.
Are you Connie by any chance? I'm Holly.
Nice to
Oh,
meet
I'm sorry.
you. It's okay, nice to meet you. I know you from the video, but. Oh, man, they're taking up the,
We put that in a box or something. Would that help?
I don't know, because no, I don't think it's gonna be higher. Right there. Actually, maybe if I can, maybe and set it over here, so that way it's
not any taller.
well, but it might, if I can catch
Okay.
it. Where'd it go? Ah, there it is.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go back.
Make sure we don't catch the corner somewhere.
Under those? Sure. Excuse me, folks. Hope you can all hear me. I can use a microphone if needed. I'm not a fan of microphones, but a few quick announcements before we start out. There's a sign-in sheet at the back of the theater. Whether or not you want to speak, please sign in. But if you do want to speak, please mark that. It is my intention that everyone who wants to speak will have their opportunity. So if you haven't signed yet, please do so now. Start here in just a minute. Okay. I think she is. She's got it now. There is to the doors to the left. This is going to go. Okay.
It's recording, so
Okay.
I think. For the view.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to call this meeting of the Village of Baltimore Planning and Zoning Commission to order 7:02 p.m. August 8th, 2024. I want to thank you all for coming. First order of business is the roll call for the commission members. Mayor Ellis.
Ms. McCreary. Ms. Factor.
Here.
Ms. Litz. Mulder. I'm here. Also in attendance, we have village administrator, Mr. Nieheiser, some council members, our DR Horton representatives, and local residents. I thank you all for coming. Our first order of business, we're going to do real quick. Business meeting just take care of what we need to, then we'll get ready to the public hearing. The other order of business we have is minutes from our last meeting on July 11th. I hope everybody's been through. Do we have a second? Is there any discussion on that? I do have one. Referring to the driveways, where it says more than 50 feet between the easement and the structure, we would require full pavement other than 20-foot parking area, but it did not include the paved paper area from the roadway. That needs to be added.
Okay.
So we have to amend that motion.
Yes, so it's more of that amendment, to approve, and then with that amendment. That makes it better.
Okay, we have a second? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ms. Factors abstained, she was not available last meeting. So unanimous available voting members. Okay, the other thing on our docket tonight is public hearing for the proposed Louis Ridge development rezoning. Not sure how many of you folks know about this piece of property. It's been part of the village. It's actually annexed approximately 50 years ago. It's already zoned R3 residential, single family housing. But what Ms. Hortons want to do is they want to rezone it to a PUD, planned unit development. So that's the reason why we're asking to rezone. So our public hearing is one of the steps in the process for any zoning change proposals. Here we will have the opportunity to hear different opinions on the proposed zoning change, the proposed Louis Ridge development, as well as have the opportunity to make your opinion publicly known. The zoning change is considered as land that said were annexed in the village roughly 50 years ago. It's already zoned R3. Developers are asking for this to be changed to the planned unit development, which what that allows is it allows for them to change densities and adjust things to where it works out best for their plan, and ideally works out best for the village, without staying with our set R1, R2, R3 standards. Now, before we get into everything, the mayor would like to speak. Then after he completes his talk, Representative of Hortons will have some minutes to make a presentation. I know several of you were last meeting here a few months back where they presented to the general public themselves. This will be very similar to that, but this will give the opportunity to those who haven't already seen it. After Hortons have done their presentation, turn on the microphone back to the podium. And then any members of the audience that have signed up and want to speak, we're going to do it preferably how in the order of how you signed in. You all have the opportunity to say your piece. Now keep in mind, this is not a question and answer session. This is where you get to make your statement. And you'll have 4 minutes. When you go up there first, you need to state your name and your address. And then after that, you have 4 minutes to say your piece. Rules of form will apply meaning we will not tolerate shouting, slander, foul language, etc. Yeah, let's keep it simple. I intend to allow everyone to sign in the opportunity to have their opinions heard, even if we're here until later than I want to be. Now, that being said, I hope those individuals that already said their piece will stick around to hear what everyone else has to say as well. Who knows, you might come away with some enlightenment. So, that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our Mayor Rickels.
I just have a couple of things. I guess the first thing I want to say is, like a lot of people in this room, I grew up here. I moved away, I moved back 20 years ago. I finished high school here, and my son went from beginning to end. The decision on this situation is not one that's been taken lightly. It's one that we've thought about, talked about. In the beginning of all this, in I guess January, when this was first presented to us, we were all like, oh, no way, we can't do this. The more information we got, the more we learned about what was going on, about the ground around us. Growth is coming, whether we wanted to, whether we not want to. Township trustees, I met with them, they're in agreement too, but what we want to try to do is do this in some sort of controlled way to where it's good for everyone. I've got a list of things that I just want to read through that might answer some questions before that I heard last time, that we might be able to answer before we even get to it. So that Kenny was right. This was annexed property in 1973. The plot was approved for 131 lots in 1977. That was done then. This isn't something that we said, hey, let's put some houses out there. This was already planned. So D.R. Horton approached us and said, we'd like to buy that. We'd like to acquire this property and the property to the north, which is a total of 68.2 acres. They asked us to build 211 homes. With that 68.2 acres, 25 acres of that would be green space, which would be parks, walking paths, and so on. Some of the things I heard last time, and legitimate questions, and these are all things that we need to address. I guess first and foremost on our part was, what about schools? D.R. Horton met with the school system, and then the school system said we can handle it. That didn't come from village council, that didn't come from the same zoning board, that came from the school. And that's what they were told in the school. I met with the school superintendent, and he said the same thing. They met with the fire department looked at the plans, went over everything, said the same thing. We can handle this. A couple of the other things that was talked about last time, and of course this is a big hot spot for everybody that lives in the village, is the water. How's the water going? So I'll give you an update on the water. There's 21.2 miles of water line in our village. And by the end of next year, 2025, we hope to have 48% of the water lines replaced, which is leaps and bounds of what it has been. And besides that, for the last 7 years, we had one well operating out of the water plant. As of 6 or 7 days ago, we have 3 wells operating, and we're looking into even more stuff. So the water is a work in progress, a legitimate question and legitimate concern. The other thing, one of the other things was the lot size. The lot sizes are small. If you drive through this village, there is lots of lots exactly the same size. If you go on Elmwood, and if you go on West Market Street between east and west, those are 42-foot lots, which is basically the same size as what they're saying out there. The other thing that I heard last time was the question about the actual builder, about D.R. Horton building the house. I couldn't have an answer to that. So in between now and then, I went to Black where they built 250 homes. I went there 3 times, and in 3 visits, I talked to 11 people. Just random people. I'd pull over if they were outside, I'd talk to them and I asked, how did it go for you about this house? 10 out of the 11 said they bought another house. The one lady said the only place she had to buy another house, she didn't like the way her driveway was the right color. So I did that too. So we checked out. I didn't know how else to get other than to just talk to random people that bought houses. So with that said, the last thing, and one of the most important things, and a friend of mine brought this up last time, he was concerned, and I would be concerned too, is the traffic. It's 211 houses. There's two things there. This is a 2 to 5 year project. So they're not going to go in there and pound out all these houses at once. So I called the county engineer, said, yeah, you can handle it. And I thought, can you just say that? They did a study. They showed me the study. And then basically what the last conversation I had with them is when it is all done, or if it is all done in 5 years, that if we had to make some changes, we make some changes. I guess the biggest thing here is it is 2 to 5 years. So we're not talking about busting this out all at once. The other thing is we're faced with some choices in our village. There's right outside the village, they can build warehouses, all kinds of stuff. So I feel like houses, and I've had a lot of small businesses approach me and say, we need this, we need business. So I can't tell you, and I know I speak for Kenny when I say we've also spoken of this, because I don't want to be the guy, or I don't want to be a part of the group that brings in these houses and it turns out bad. So I feel like we've really done our homework with these people that are building their houses, with the people that have already bought houses, with the county engineer, and just the work in general inside the village with the water and the sewer. We're trying to get that it's done as quick as we can. So I guess with that, I'm gonna turn it back over to Kenny. And here's a couple other things real quick. I saw somebody said something about we were taking prime farmland. The farmer that's farmed that land for the last 7 years said that is not prime at all. And it was zoned to be a neighborhood in 1977. We didn't just make this up or say, hey, let's do this. It's been this way for a long time. And I guess the other thing is again, it's 2 to 5 year project. It's not like we're going to just go bang them out that quick. And there'll be some problems along the way, I'm sure too. And I feel confident with the partnership if we go in this direction that we'll build with the developer will be a good one, and that we want that we work with them almost all the time. So I guess with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Ken, and then go from there.
Well, I guess at this point we'll turn it over to BZA Meetings representatives, and they can do their presentation. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for having us this evening. Thank you to all of the Planning Commission members. As you know, I think this is the third time that we presented regarding this project in one way, shape, or form, and we really appreciate all of the attention that the village has given to this to make this project as good as it can be. My name is Molly Gwynn. I am the attorney for the applicant. The applicant is, as stated, D.R. Horton, Indiana, LLC. And present with me this evening over in that corner is Jack Montino, the division president of D.R. Horton, Dave Dozer, the division president of land development, Tiffany Grant, our head of land acquisition, and Jim Watkins, who is our engineer for Dantas, who's prepared to answer any technical questions. So the same team we had here before this evening. One of the things I just want to touch on, it's in your PowerPoint again. D.R. Horton has built over 1 million homes across the United States. I know that at the last meeting, there was a lot of talk about reviews and social media presence. And what I will tell you is that with that many houses, you're bound to have some statements. But we are the largest home builder in the country currently, and we are operating in 117 markets. And D.R. Horton is not only going to develop this property, but they are going to build the homes. So the elevations that we're prepared to show you here tonight are actually indicative of the homes that we'll be building. They are the homes that are within our portfolio, and you can rely on those as evidence of our commitment to quality and our commitment to design standards. Again, as I said, this has been a long road. We initially approached the village about this project. We were looking for an upsizing agreement for a sanitary sewer system. We were told in no uncertain terms that there was no interest in that. And so we went back to the drawing board and we re-looked at this. And what we've come up with here is a planned district. Again, it's a planned district because the lots are slightly smaller than what would be permitted under the current R3 zoning. We do have 40-foot lots. We do have over 25 acres of green space, which is about 43% open space for the community. And one of the changes that we made as we moved through this project, and you can see it on the board up there, is we committed to doing a top lot and a central open space within the development. That'll be fully maintained by the applicable HOA and the homeowners that live in that community. We also have trails, and initially the trails were to be made of gravel. We've committed to doing an impervious surface to those trails to facilitate greater connectivity within the community, greater connectivity within the village, to allow for biking and that kind of thing on the property. Our average sales prices in this community, we are presently estimating at between $350,000 to $400,000. When we looked at the average sale price in Baltimore for the year based upon market data, the average price is about $220,000 a year. So our average price, again, given that this is new construction, given that these are ranging from about 1,200 to 2,500 square foot homes, is going to come in higher than what the average price currently is. And we're doing that because we feel that there's a need and desire in this market for housing at that price point. So I share all of that because we went through a lot here in terms of changes to the plan. This is not the plan that we presented initially. I think it's been a good give and take with you all to get this to where it is. One of the things that got brought up at the last meeting, and as the chair noted, is impact to the school district. Based upon the current publicly available school district for Liberty Union, there is anticipated to be about a $38,000 shortfall for fiscal year 2024. About 23.7% of the school district's revenue is accounted for with real property taxes. That's real property taxes on homes just like this. Our development is going to generate significant real property tax dollars for the community. We're estimating about $564,000 annually to the district at full. We also took the available data and analyzed the anticipated impact of new school children. Most people think 213 homes, 2 kids per home. But what the data shows us is that the estimated yield for this case is much closer to about 2.7 students per household. And so we anticipate about 58 new students generated by this development. Again, we think that the real property tax generate is largely going to cover that cost. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions. I'll defer technical questions to our engineer, and thank you for the opportunity to present regarding this matter.
Is there anyone else with Horton that would like to speak before we go into the public part of this meeting?
We're certainly happy to answer questions.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. My name is Tino. I am the division president of BZA Horton. in Columbus here. So I wanted to clarify, Molly, I think you said 2.7 students per household, or 0.27. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. Also, as an introduction, I am here to answer any questions or address any matters if so called upon. And so those are VP of Land Development and our engineer. So we look forward to the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, the idea is meeting really isn't questions and answers, but if we have time at the end, I'm definitely open to you answering questions. But first off, we need to get through any public testimony that we have. Anybody here that wants to speak. So we're going to do this in basically the order of being written down here. So, Mr. Ben Turley, I guess you're up first. Well, you're on top of the list. If you could please go to the podium, I appreciate that. It's all on. Blame it on me, I see.
Okay, I'm Ben Turley family. We moved here in '75, June of '75. We're on 545 North Baldwin Street, which is somewhat cattywampus from that property. And we watched it over the years. Yes, it is a swampy area, and it's not prime farm land as far as some people say. So, you got your answer there. Our biggest concern is using Basel Street, Basel Road, and for all the traffic, 240 homes eventually. Yes, we do appreciate that, yeah, it's going to be done over a certain period of time. And we want to get back in '75 when we moved here, it was a Sleepy Hollow subdivision, and we already knew that moving here in '75 that was incorporated over there, and then there will be something to be developed. No problem there. It's just that we want to make sure that it's done responsibly. Our sewer, water, again, we've had water issues. Mayor Rick, love him to death. He's a great guy. He's looking out for us now and making sure things get done. We just want to make sure that our water quality is up to snuff. And, you've already answered the situation. We've had the questions about the school district, and that can be taken care of. And the other thing is the traffic. We don't have traffic going down Roland Road, up and down Baltimore, across the street, DC Road, and it's still emergency in the future. So, are we looking at maybe utilizing going up the Oak Street? Crossing there where the old drainage board used to be. Looking at one way in, one way out. Like I said, on my groundhog is harder than that. Groundhog makes multiple ways out of this rural development. So, hopefully we can be utilizing other accesses too, instead of just one road. Just the main thing is the high density. We don't want to be another Pickerington, Viola Township. We don't want to turn into that. Let's make sure we do it right. And I think this year will be our way into it going right. Rick is shaking his head. Him and I have talked. I think we can work with this going right. I just want to make for sure. One thing is, like I said, turning this into a little Pickerington, so there's a runaway bedroom community, and you got Black, which I have a stepdaughter that lives out of Black, down in the subdivision up there. That house there was sold to 4 families of Somalis. And, I'm kind of concerned for Wallen being able to handle riffraff that would come in. She owned that house for a few years, turned around, resold it for about what she paid for it. And so then there's, you know, you got, we have no problem, diversity is great, but let's just think about what can move in after the initial homeowner. Keep that in mind. You're doing a great job, you all. I trust you all. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gurley. Next name is Tom Ansel. Oh, I'm sorry. Did not want to speak. My bad. Robert Barrington. And I'm sorry, I didn't say this earlier, but you come up to the podium, please state your name and your address.
My name is Robert and I live on Bickley Church Road. So who's gonna pay to widen the roads? Cause I mean, when you start walking over 200 more homes coming on, like you said, there's basically 3 roads off on 58 that are gonna feed that. I mean, it was just 3 weeks ago, there was a head on in front of my house.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your question.
Are you guys planning on widening these roads?
According to the county, there's a study that is long. Now, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be long. It's just something we'll have to address as it comes. We're not gonna willy-nilly this and then leave it all messed up, because this is like a test thing. I mean, it's new ground for us too, so we're gonna have to just, I will tell you this, as long as I'm here, if there's a problem, we're working out. We have talked to township, and they're aware of all this too. And we're kind of partnership with the township. And they're aware and they agree. We just kind of have to see how this works, what we have to do as it comes. All right, that's where I would take that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amanda Felix.
I might be just a minute or two. The points I hear everybody bringing up are pretty big points.
Please state your name and address.
Amanda Felix, 558 North Basin Street. Me and my family's land is surrounded by this development. It goes along the north side and the east side of our land. We have 15 acres that my grandfather bought approximately 30 years ago when it was supposed to be the Sleepy Hollow development. He bought the property after it was for sale twice. That fell through. Everybody keeps saying this has been debating for 30 years. It's been dead in the water on that. Hold on, my son's calling. So now here we are 30 years later, after people like the board, people like Curley, when you can allow my grandfather to build a pole barn on 15 acres. And here we are discussing 200 and something houses. So everybody brings up vague points about the school and the water and the this and that, which I could really care less about. Statements that are made on Facebook, as she brought up, I could really care less about. For me, it's personal. I grew up on that land. I can tell you every groundhog hole. I can tell you every chive patch. I rode on that land. I hiked that land. I kicked kites on that land. I grew up on it. That land, when we talk about trails and parks and stuff, you're talking about my home. Yes, the land is too far big, but we had free reign back then. Just explore. So for me, it's personal. Not only because the land's being developed, but because it surrounds my family's land that my grandpa bought 30 years ago, and this town gave him all for buying. Everybody says the land back there is really swampy. Nobody knows that land like I do. That land back there is beautiful. There are low patches, just like there is on our land and other places in town, but the land back there is beautiful. It's a beautiful patch of land, which the developers clearly know. So I look at the maps and I see there's roads coming in on Oak Street through our land, roads going out the back of our land. I know it's not a Q&A time, I'll wait till afterwards to get more details on that from the developer, but I'd like to know what that's about. As far as traffic changes, Mr. Ellis, you had said earlier that as the traffic changes and speed and this and that, we'll take care of it. For 20-something years, we have requested help. I know it's not your fault because you're new mayor, and I understand that, but for 20-something years, we have asked for help with the speeding on that road because you cannot see When you pull out of our driveway, Julie's driveway, that hill, you cannot see, and someone's gonna end up dead. For 20-something years, we've asked for change, and the city on the sign, we were right here on our driveway, when the zoning was done how many years ago to push it out. Nothing's ever been done. We got nobody in this town, nobody at all, no changes have been made. So I don't have faith in a lot of people in this town doing anything that doesn't meet their personal agenda. You bring up small businesses. We know people on the board that have small businesses, they're, of course, they're gonna vote for it, because it puts money in their pocket. And they have a history of that. They had a history of sleeping out here, and we had it. So of course they're gonna vote yes, because they want money in their pockets for their small business on 158. Not wanting this to turn into violent township. Hate to break it to you. You go right down 204. We have a gentleman here tonight, but he works at the checkout in the Kroger right off 204. It says every night, groups from the high school across the street come in, they steal from the deli, they steal from the pharmacy, and there's nothing that they're allowed to do about it because they don't want to be the Kroger that's known for arresting kids that come in from the school across the street and steal. They're all going to be moving down 204. My friend Kathy lives here in town. Oh, she's here tonight. She got her car stolen right from the BP down 204. Another car from the AutoZone down there. My sister lives in a neighborhood off 204. I can't tell you how many times they've chased off kids selling drugs and stuff on their street. You guys think that this is going to be cozy housing development? It may start out that way, but it's not going to remain that way. We're going to have everything from 204. People start going to Amazon, Intel, as all that stuff emerges, and it's all going to be literally in our backyard, but in everybody's backyards and in your schools. And
Mr. Felix, I'm sorry your time is up. But thank you so much for coming in and speaking.
I will be remaining afterwards for questions that I have concerning our land and the roads that are impeding on it. That's really all.
But you are certainly welcome to stay afterwards.
I will. Thank you.
Tracy Stanton.
Hi, I'm Tracy Stanton. I'm Amanda Felix's mother. I live at 554 North Boswell. Her house is up in the front of the road. My house is down farther. When my father bought that land, we were told we had to have 100-foot frontage. And so that's all we have, 100-foot frontage. I don't know why. I also don't know why, since we're in city limits, when they're doing the road in front of our house, they stop at the house before us. So right now what I'm doing is I'm venting. Because now all of a sudden, you're going to do something really good for some people that's going to be buying some houses. And I live right next door to it. And I've been treated like crap for years. I had yellow water for years. And when I complained about it, nobody cared. I called Channel 4, and I was on the news 3 times. Mike Jackson came to my house. And then he went and talked to the mayor. And at the time, that mayor, he kind of laughed about the water. And he was given a bottle of water from my house that was orange, and asked to drink it, and he giggled. So this is what we've put up with. And I can tell you, with me doing that, that didn't gain me any friends. Because when you open your mouth in a little town, you get some problems. Because you might have 1,000 people in a town, but there's about 10 that run it. So, when my dad bought that land, he wanted to put a pole barn in the back. My dad was a carny. When he died, he was the biggest game operator in Ohio. So when I say a carny, don't think about some dirty slime, whatever. He worked his well off his whole life, coming out of a foster care system. So we have people that are here right now that did not want that pole barn put in the back of my land, but I can tell you, if you go to their land and do an EPA, you're gonna find a lot of crap. But whatever, I'm not gonna mention names. All he wanted to do is park his carnival equipment there for the winter storage. That was it. It's agriculture land that we have. And we were told he was told he could do that before we bought the land. Then afterwards, I can't remember the man's name, he's dead, but I'd love to say his name just in case he has somebody here that's related to him, but I can't remember his name. So afterwards, he was denied. And I'll tell you, for 3 years, my dad sulked, and I finally said, Dad, just build your house up front. Stay here, because we'd already built ours in the back. And we were gonna raise our family here. That's why he had bought the land in the first place. Not a only child, he wanted to be with his grandchildren. Now, my point with this is, the excuse they used to not get that pole barn was because of the traffic. And I can tell you, there's businesses that live close to me that has traffic. And nothing is said to them. And there was not going to be any traffic. It was turned down. But now all of a sudden, here we are 30 years later, and we've got this big housing development. Nothing against the housing development people. I understand why you're doing it. Houses need to be built. So basically, I'm Benny. We were treated like crap when we moved in here. And I have a feeling it's just going to continue. Because like I said, there might be 1,000 people in this town, but there's about 10 people that run it.
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Next would be Curtis Stanton.
I'm Curtis Stanton. I'm also at 554 at North Boswell Street. We're in the 15 acres right next door to this development going in. And I'm still kind of trying to take all this in. I mean, I missed the last meeting. I had the day wrong, so I'm not missing a lot of what's taking place. And I'm kind of want to know how the sewer is going in and how the water is being fixed. I'm sure it's all going to affect our road right in front of us, and everything around us is going to affect. This company seems to be pretty conscientious about that and how it affects people around them, it seems like. But just to reiterate the thing about the traffic, I mean, she's right. My father-in-law bought that land to build a couple of buildings, to park his stuff, winter quarters for his equipment. And in the summertime, it wouldn't even ever be there. And then he couldn't do it, and the reason is because of traffic. So nothing's really changed in this village as far as the roads and the traffic in 30 years. And I don't know how many people 211 miles of road and 213 houses create. I mean, it seems a little low, 0.27 kids per house. Because most people buy a new house to start a family, that kind of thing. It seems to me, I mean, I know you have the statistics in there. But that's going to be a lot of traffic going out on one road. And so the village of Baltimore historically has not done well with water. They have not done well with sewer. And they have not done well with at least traffic on that road. Because people, as soon as they cross the railroad track and they head up that hill, it's not 25 anymore. I would say 75% or better of the traffic that comes up that hill is not 25 anymore once they cross the railroad tracks. They're flying. My daughter once got killed once out there years ago. And I chased a few people down because of that. You know, I've asked about speed bumps. I've asked about signs with flashing lights on them. I've asked about police officers sitting there a little more often, you know, radaring people. But if you're gonna have all this traffic coming out on that road with this issue going on, as we said before, someone's gonna be killed. I mean, this doesn't seem like a good scenario where it's at. You know, maybe you will be able to work it out and make it work, but it just doesn't seem like the ideal spot for this development. So I don't know about Portland and Baltimore, how they work together on all this stuff. The water and the sewer and the traffic, Baltimore traditionally just has not done very well. So as far as our land, I mean, that's something we're going to have to be discussing about, I guess. I don't know, you know, we've got a road dead end and right to the back of our land. I don't know what that's all about. But, you know, it's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, I get it. I mean, development has to happen. But, you know, of course, we want to stay in the loop as much as possible with this. And go from there. I guess that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stanton. Mr. Richards, Dave, do you want to speak? Okay. Diane? Okay. Cindy Gray? I'm sorry, what was that?
Donate my time to Amanda.
Okay.
I'm actually donating your time to me. Have developers, anybody been out there when that paper mill blows west? No. Have you guys been out there when the paper mill blows west? Yeah, because that's the part of that land that people only like I would know about. It smells like big butt crap in your face. It's disgusting. It's the grossest all day. You can't escape it. You can't escape in your house. You can't escape in your car. I don't think it's going to make people in the development happy. And not to mention, paper mills are the biggest emitters of dioxin, which is safe at like 0, no levels at all, cancer-causing dioxin. When it blows west, it smells like a ginormous wet fart. Not everybody is privy to meeting with the mayor one-on-one, like Curly said that he does. And I know, but you guys are clearly friends. I'm not just gonna make a phone call, but if you invite that, I guess you probably could. And you can come out and hang out. All right, and then, and the reason I say that is because, like my mom said, even with a small town, it's the same way in sports. It's the same way in the town. With anything, when you have a small town, people's opinions, I guess, may be invited, but there's this many people that actually run. And when you have buddies that I know that have acted a certain way in the past, like when my grandfather wanted to build a pool barn, it makes me like, well, I want to meet with the mayor. I want the mayor to know about us, our history, our community, you know? And especially with people maybe that are just seconding things without, because it doesn't affect them personally, and they're not putting a whole lot of thought maybe into it, I don't know, but like I said earlier, this is a personal thing for us. And there's kids in school that are open enrolled that have been for years. I have a feeling that they booted and probably have to go to another school because it's, yeah, because they got booted a couple years ago, actually. I'm trying to think, I'm having a brain fart here. I think that's all. And the train too, like, I don't know how close this is gonna be to the train tracks, but it looks like it's gonna be pretty close. And so you got the funky paper mill going that way, you got the train, I don't know. I mean, that may make values drop. And then I'm hoping it doesn't end up years from now being low income like Pleasantville, turn into a little drug town. And the people that like to watch their kids play football on the football field, when you look past the football field, you see all those trees and the woods. It's a country school, it's a small town school. It's gonna be houses. It's all gonna be houses. You're gonna sit on the beach and watching the kids, and it's all gonna be houses. Right now, on the top of my head, and all that points that I made. I think that's all I have right now. Is that 1 minute? Maybe? Oh, okay.
I should have explained that earlier. I'm sorry.
I know you had a question for me. All right.
Thank you. Jana Cantor. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
My name is Jana Cantor, and I live on 1275 Road Northwest. It used to be Hank Kaufman's old horse farm, followed by Jasper Farms Horse Farm. It's been very well taken care of, very nice piece of property. I've resided there for a year now, and luckily it was gently handed down by some very special people in my life. I'm not a police leader, so bear with me on this. So I am really, a lot of you guys know me as the dog groomer here in town. I am a small business owner myself, and coming from that perspective, more people equals more business. Until my rent triples, until I have to raise my prices for the people that have lived in this town their entire life that I've served. I've done 3 rooms for people here, elderly people here who can't afford them. I've worked with rescues because I've been able to afford a great rent price to make what I need to make to survive, to make what I need to pay my employees, and to also give back to my community. For example, my friend owned a business in Johnstown called Authority Pet Resort, very similar to what I do at a Diamond in the Rough dog grooming. He's been paying $1,500 rent for a 1,200 square foot small storefront. He has been there for 6 years now at $1,500 a month, and with income coming in, his landlord recently raised his rent to $3,900. He was now forced to close, as well as Imperial Canine in Pickerington. She's been there for years. She's a wonderful, wonderful groomer who also gives back to the community. And she is now forced to close because their rent went from $2,000 a month to $4,300 in the same area as Great Valley Pizza. So she'll be going out of business on the 30th, as well as Authority Pet Resort, which, like I said, more business for us, more people. It does have a perk, but it also is going to genuinely impact the people that have been here who are barely making it by. A lot of the basic things, such as the police departments, fire departments, streets, 2 to 5 year project, we can handle it. I really hope that we can get a little bit more clarity from that, of exactly how we're going to handle it. I'm new here, I'm still catching up on a lot of things, so I will stay and ask some questions. I live, like I said, I live on Rolling Road, right above the one-way bridge, which is an absolute nightmare on a daily basis. Trying to pull in and out of my own driveway is probably one of the scariest parts of my morning, getting in and out from work. There are people that fly up and down that road and do not watch for the other side of the bridge. I've talked to police officers, I talked to the previous mayor here, just to see what we could do to keep it safer. When I'm pulling out of my driveway with 4 horses loaded on my trailer and a car decides to come whipping through and literally almost takes out my rig, it's not safe. So I really hope that with this, we have room to improve, like everybody else has said, our roads, our police, add more police. These poor people are being stretched so thin. We all let them sit outside of our house and roll. We all have road issues. We all have head-on collisions that are bound to happen one day or another. There's not enough of them. There needs to be more, especially significantly more, especially when adding this many people. When we come up to 200 plus new homes, and we want to use the whatever math that was, there's also the chance of, people growing families, and at 211 homes, let's say each family has 2 kids, we're at 422 children that are now going to our schools, not 58. And that's not a guaranteed number. So that needs to be taken into consideration. You could have 12 kids join our school district, or you could have 500. So we need to make sure that everything is planned for accordingly.
Ms. Hammer, your time is up. Thank you. Bonnie Walter.
Hi, my name is Connie Walker. I live at 111 South Pleasant Street. I'm not here tonight in opposition to or in favor of the proposed development. What I am a strong proponent of is wise decision making.
quality decisions take time. In the instance where I feel pushed to make an immediate obese decision, that always shows up red flag for me. I've prepared a whole statement, but a lot of the things that were addressed at the beginning have kind of changed that. What I do want to do is, one of the research things that I've done is look at some documents on the fiscal cost of growth. And one of the statements there said that studying moderate growth rates of 1 to 2% annually can generally be accommodated by communities, while rapid growth spurts in excess of 3% are much more likely to result in traffic congestion, overcrowded schools, and rising taxes and utility bills. And this proposed development, which is actually only one of potentially 4 that are on the horizon, will result in an approximate 16% increase in village homes. Spread that out over the 3 to 4 years planned for development, and that's about 4.5 to 5% annual growth. That puts us in the excess of 3% category. But I put it earlier as a concerning rate that's likely to cost the community. And I wonder if the village has studied with concrete or quantifiable analysis the potential financial burden that will be passed on to the residents if growth happens too fast. Also very concerned about the school district, and I have lots of calculations that are second person. But my bigger concern as I'm adjusting my statement tonight is that some of the calculations that I had were based on information, and I'm hearing conflicting information from you. And so that puts the numbers into a quandary. And I'm wondering if I'm wondering again about the quantifiable analysis, about not just taking what we talked about and they said it's okay, we can handle it. That doesn't seem like enough. So basically, with those kind of conflicting pieces of data and information floating around, I'm just going to kind of wrap it up and down that I'm hoping that you all will ask lots of questions and seek out experts to get your answers, and not just say, oh, I talked to him and he said it would be okay with the template. Look for quantities, look for quantifiable data, and be thorough. Don't rush. January to August, that seems like not a lot of time. So take the time to modify and negotiate and adjust, always keeping the village's best interests at the forefront. Thank you.
Thank you. That is all the names I have on the signing list. Is there anyone else here that wants to speak that either has not signed in or we don't have a sheet here?
They're all here.
Would you mind checking to see if there's another sheet back there?
Okay.
Sorry about that. We missed the sheet. So we're not there yet, folks. Okay, Mr. Mark Trimmer.
Yeah, I'm Mark Trimmer. I was on the pantry state eating sitting around the property across from 1420 Orlando Road. And bus up to the north end of the proposed house zone. My question is there any plans to put apartments in there or just single one houses? Okay, of course, I don't know, but I guess, Facebook says there's gonna be, apartments there, yeah, so, and, one of the things that, concerns me, and I don't know if we can do anything here on the Zoom or not, when people move out here and buy a home, we are expected to conform to them and them not to us. And that's a problem, and I don't know if you can do anything about that, but that's a future problem that's going to come along. And for that reason, I'm not in favor of the BZA, but it's probably going to go through anyway. But see if we can do anything to hold that down to a or so that we don't have a bunch of restrictions put on our farmland. I own farmland across from 1420 Road. So having those people tell me that I can only do this or that concerns me, and I don't know if there's anything you can do now to avoid that. But I understand now it's R3. Is that correct?
It currently is zoned R3,
which is
single family home. It's actually a smaller lot size in the village.
So the new law is just the first of the lot size.
I'm sorry, Mark, what was that?
The new zoning that they're asking for district first is the lot size, is that correct?
For the most part, yeah, R1, R2, R3, for mostly to lot sizes.
Was I asked it because actually no one wants low-end apartments going in there, and then people saying, you know, you have to do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, whatever. So that would be my only concern, that the future people might tell me what I can and can't do, and that's not something, you know, that's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Butch Murphy.
Butch Murphy, 816 West Market Street. First, I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank the village administration, zoning, and the DRL representatives for making all these hearings public, encouraging people to come. So many times you hear, especially in small towns, I can think of a few instances that you always hear about closed door meetings, special meetings that pop up all of a sudden to get things passed through. The fact that no one here is taking that step says a lot. So I just want to say thank you. Most of the questions that I had were addressed early on. The mayor answered most of them. Other people expressed similar things, so I'm just not going to repeat everything. But the one thing I'm curious about is with the new proposed zoning, with a 40-foot wide lot, 30-foot wide home, is space, not just with the homes, but with cars. When you calculate, you know, every family, you know, you're looking at 2 cars minimum, usually 3. If they get kids at driving age, or sometimes you might get multiple families on one home. Where is everybody going to be? And I'd be curious to know if the developer has any projects that we can see that's already finished that are 40-foot lots with the size of homes we have. You know, many times you cruise through developments and you think, wow, that looks really nice. But all of a sudden, you know, you take an extra 5 feet off of the property and it changes the whole appearance of things. So I'd be curious if there's something that, you know, we might be able to see. Because, you know, in development, I feel like good for this town. You know, growth is coming. The only other concern I have or question is if this comes in, you know, everybody's factoring in schools, you know, the first responder, all this stuff. How does this affect future projects coming in? So, you know, everybody hears, you know, people talking about putting project here. So if this is the first one in, is that going to exclude the other projects from coming in? I'm concerned about overloading the schools. You know, it happened in Pickerington. You know, I know people who got letters from their kids going to elementary school that there may not be room in the school. They may be getting bus to a public school. So I just look at those kind of things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. That is all the names I have.
I'm gonna change my answer, yes.
Okay.
I'll name it first. My name's Dave Hard, and I actually live at 8735 Basil Road. I should be on the second sheet of the last one. I live right across the street from where the 6 homes are gonna go in, right there on the bottom of that map. So the greenhouse is there right now. I can tell you for a fact, in the winter time, when they're salting roads and whatnot, you can see that road is only wide enough for 1 3/4 cars, let's call it that. You get two cars crossing at that same time in front of my house, you're gonna, it gets dangerous. We have farm equipment out there all the time, going up and down Basel Road. We have school buses. There's a school bus stop at that greenhouse right now. And traffic gets jammed up there all the time. Okay, so this traffic issue, that road has to be addressed. Whether it's in 2 to 5 years, I don't care, it needs addressed now. So whether you put a turn lane in there, whatever you do, that's fine. The other part that I'm worried about is, you see this going on right now, Village of Baltimore is land grab. Okay, I live right across the street from that. I have a lot of privileges, a lot of reasons I moved out to the country from Westerville. I lived in a subdivision in Westerville where we have the Somali family, somebody mentioned earlier. We have the Nigerian families, the Mexican families. They're putting 12 families in these homes. Yeah, it's supposed to be a single family home. The HOAs aren't enforcing it because of diversity. Okay, so you start putting these 12 families in there, 13 families, however many families you want to put in there, your school district numbers are going up. Okay, so, and that's happening in every subdivision that's built up around the city of Columbus. Do your research. Let's see. The reason I moved out to the country, I love to burn on my property, I love to shoot on my property, I love to hunt on my property. If the village comes out and starts wanting to annex my property in, I'm gonna fight that because that's the reason I don't want to live in, where I'm restricted from doing things like that. I have a very large piece of property, 7 acres, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Harder. Is there anyone else who wants to speak? Okay.
I'm Danny Nader. I live at 10015 Lancaster Cookersville Road. So big white farmhouse at the corner of 150 and Bickle. I'm going to echo Amanda's point to the developers. I highly recommend that you go to that area on a hot day when that people know this production. I don't know if it's butt crack smell or maybe like a lot of lane smell. It might be something that would deter a lot of excited buyers. In fact, I believe on your image there we have an example picture of a house that's actually the cesspool the paper mill has just north of the train track. So something to check out since that's where you want to put your biking paths. I'm on septic and a private well, so those concerns have come from my house, but certainly I can understand everyone else's concerns, but mine's more about traffic. We have lived at that intersection for 16 years and we've seen 7 or 8 head-on collisions there, and I can only imagine when a small portion of the 400 plus cars that come out of the 2 other family housing system comes down that artery is going to increase. That road, Bickle Church, is actually tar and chip. It's relatively car wide, but that's how we do it. People are going 60 plus miles an hour when it's rated at 45. So I really think pre-planning some road improvements for any arteries that are going to come in and out of Zurich, especially at Basil where the intersection is for the one entrance to this area would definitely be something to evaluate. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to us? Okay. Have you already signed in?
No, I haven't. I came a little late, so I'm sorry about that.
about 400 miles north of Dayton, trying to come back as quickly as possible.
Please state your name.
Oh, yeah, Tom Nader, her husband, 10015, State Route 158. And, we're going to head on the already on it for what we got. Like you said, it's hardship. In the summer, it starts to go. It's even hard to keep the truck on the road. It really seems like nobody's done any sort of homework on this whatsoever, especially with DR Horton. EMH&T, which you think is your great engineering company that you had to do your testing and stuff, I used to work with. We tell the customer what they want. You give them money, we tell them what they want to hear. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. You guys are putting it right next to a cesspool. That's hard. That's sodium chloride. Nobody's going to pay any more than $150,000 for those houses in trash. I've seen your houses, they are trash. I've worked on your houses, and they're trash.
I'm sorry.
So, quite honestly, I can't believe we're being sold out.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You know what? I encourage everyone to speak, but we're not going to speak ill of anybody, okay?
I'm not speaking ill about them, I'm speaking ill about their company.
I'm sorry. Let's keep this fair and simple, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Ellis, I think you're making $100 bets for 25 cents in your pocket.
Okay. I'm sorry, there's someone else who wants to speak yet, I believe.
The cesspool that he's talking about, I can walk you guys back there. I don't know if you've been under the bridge where the creek is back there. I don't know how far you actually hike back there. Under the bridge, back in the wood area where the creek is, there is an actual dump, a sludge dump from the water mill. I can walk you back there and show you where it's actively dumping into that creek.
So I believe there's someone else over here that wanted to speak.
Again, I think it's too fine to come in by circle, yes, and so. First of all, thank you to the mayor, the zoning board, council, everybody else, dear Horton, for organizing these meetings and follow up. Again, appreciate having public input and having public meetings. I really appreciate it. My name is Nathaniel 1780, Boston, Western Road. I just have two questions. One about the green spaces that are on the inside the development that are being maintained by the HOA. Will those be accessible by people outside of that development? So the people in the village boulevard, can they go there? Just as a question. And the other question I have is all the houses are being built on slabs, as far as I know. Are there any plans for the houses to be built with safe rooms in case of tornadoes, or is there any type of community safe space in case there's any storms, tornadoes, etc.? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'll ask the rest of it. I'll just one minute. I'll ask the rest of the planning and zoning committee. We won't allow, since we are not bad on time, people to speak at the second time. We don't have anything against that. Okay.
I think if somebody has some facts, they ought to be able to say it. Maybe just calmer, a little calmer. But I think he should have another chance to say it. If he worked for this company, if he saw it with his own eyes, then why should he not be able to say it? Why? You don't want to hear it?
It's not that at all. You work for DR Horton? Is that?
So, that's the facts, and he should be able to. He has a right, he pays taxes here. The other thing I wanted to say is, you want to talk about that creek. Okay, I told you about the water. Now, if you want to Google Mike Jackson, Channel 4, Baltimore water, a commercial, or a thing will come up. That's me, about 5 years ago. before I did that, I also took a walk because somebody told me about that creek and some white stuff. It was a pure stranger. I said, meet you there. He walked me down that creek, and there's chemicals that's going into that creek. And I did call the EPA several times, talked to a lot of people. There was a meeting here. I don't know if any of you were here during all this water problem, but there's a problem with that water. We had to put a $7,000 unit into our house because of the water. But, you're going to put these new homes in and they're going to get clean water. We paid taxes for 30 years. And, I want to say it again. We're in city limits, pays city taxes, and when you do a road, it stops right here. They don't do nothing in front of my house. When we pull out of our driveway is wide. We have to go all the way to the right because we got kids after school coming right after that. And then they nail it. I can't tell you how many times we've come that close and how many times he has chased people in his vehicle home to their homes to warn them. So if something's not done about that, somebody's going to end up getting killed. I mean, they just are. We've said it for 30 years. It hasn't happened yet, so nobody believes it. But anyway, this gentleman should have another chance to be able to say what he knows. If he has worked for that company or done work for them, he'll calm down and he'll tell you what he knows.
Mr. Chairman, would you like to speak again? Okay, I told you before, then Turley family, 545 West Baldwin Street. We got our neighbors across the street from us. They probably hate me. And then the guys that live up there where Dodge's Green out. That's you. Y'all don't have to worry about a village or land grab. I got that. I got that. Where our land is, right there at 545, right where the village limit sign is. The village limit goes up in front of our property right there. There are properties in the township. So the village asked me, not these people, people prior to them asked me about signing up with them. I said, what's in it for me? And they couldn't come up with what's in it for me, so I said, no thanks. So we're going to stay in the township as long as I'm living and working right there, because I got a land locked for clear over the railroad tracks. They have to ask for permission to take on, and it has to be continued. Now, as to they're having problems with the street and so forth, where that village limit sign is, and you see the transformation on the pavement, that is right where it cuts over the limits. It cuts over into the roadway, and that's county roadway. So the county has no, the village has no jurisdiction on the county asphalt right there. So, it's pretty safe there, but yeah, I was wondering about the people flying down the road, but that's been there for 50 years. I'm just dealing with it now. We're just going to have a set of problems. That's going to be the new administration and the new chief problem to take on. That's their baby. But yeah, I just wanted to address my neighbors there. Yeah, we're not going to have a land grab. There's no land grab by the village. That's already, when we moved here in 75, that was already plotted out, already in the village. The owners across the road from y'all. Hey, I've got the backs. Like I said, you're blocked off. Yeah, I love Rick. He's a good guy. I live in the village of Tremont Drive, but where we moved into and where I run my business right there at 545. From there on up to DC Road and on out, you're all good. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, I'm both. Yeah. You start right across, you're right across from my side. Yeah. It cuts across the road right there, and then it's right on the actual right away of the road. Yeah. And I think when I just look at what you guys are so wrong for good fixes, I knew the previous owner, I knew the previous owner of that property very well. He was an awesome guy. When he passed, his thing was over to your dad, and I watched him build that farm. He was a great guy. I thought the whole all of it. The previous administration back years ago, they didn't go on that. I will have to say, but trust me, it's not just I just because of the one bridge that we stand up here, we all had. They have our backs on us. They really. At first, I was like the rest of them. I don't know, but all that, again, I don't have a problem.
Ben, I'm gonna cut you off. Okay, you guys are welcome to talk all you want afterwards, but thank you. Mr. Nader, I'm not one to not let you talk, but all I ask is keep it civil, okay? You're welcome to come back up and speak again.
So, okay, I didn't know. And I used to go to council meetings as a little kid like Maddie, little kid over here, and this is exactly how it started. The beginning of the end of a good town. This is it. First thing they do is they come in here, they ask for more land, or they ask for more houses or land. And then they just give it all up. I suggest, severely suggest, having another engineer come and take it. Don't go by anybody else's BS. You pay the money for the engineering company. Don't have to take it. You're not going to sell a single home, this water, in that area, with that smell, with one way in and out on a car check for more than 100 people. As a joke. Well, the house is trash. That's okay. Their electricity, how they're running the house, it's barely even finished. Their plumbing is just all shark bite, and it's the cheap shark bite from China. That's the reason why I was there, to fix what they had done wrong. All the drywall is breaking out, carpet comes up around the seams, they don't need the seams up in the carpet, simple things. Doors hung wrong, sliders hung wrong. When you have a house that you think you're gonna get off my house and you actually don't, you still gotta get your money somehow. So you start bringing in extra family members to pay for that. That's the reason why the Mexicans are doing that, because they can pull that out. The Haitians, the Nepalese, that's what took over in our room was the Nepalese. Nobody saw it coming with it, realistically, nobody had any more money, so you had to bring in more family. And I don't know where everybody thinks that we have to keep bending over for more housing developments. No other time in America's history have we had so much open real estate inside of the cities than we do now. But now we actually have to give up all our farmland to either a solar project or a housing or a warehouse. And how long did that warehouse sit out there on 70 right next to Screen Machine? That was 2 years. It was finished. Nobody was in it. We're building stuff for people we don't even know that are coming in. Intel's not something to be scared of. They're hiring 3,000 people to be on the site for 3 different shifts. I know that because I'm with the transit place on the top. I work for the biggest train company in the world, so I'm in everybody's business. And I've done business with everybody. That's all I can tell you. I can give you some bad thing that's coming. We're going to bend over and start letting other people come into our town and build more than what we originally allotted for, and then not give people a simple whole building because of traffic. Yeah, at least just give us water. Just give them clean water. And I'm pretty sure these people have been there and let you guys can build whatever you want. Build a warehouse if you want. Just water. how is the river gonna actually make the water there? It's not. We spent $75,000 for a valve on the ground. That's like 2 years worth of income tax from them. It just doesn't make sense. This is the beginning of the end. This happened. I was like ready to buy the 5 acres behind me to move my parents in. I really question on that.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Nader. Okay, well, hang on 1 second. And I see Mr. Trevor and Mr. Stanton here. Is there anybody else that has not spoken already who wants to say something? Back here.
Hi, my name is Willie Meek. I live off of Charity Lane. I know what these guys are talking about. So my thing is, we might want to look at the history of the building. I've never looked at the order. I know Mr. Mayor, you said you have a talk to 11 people, 10 people. I'm just going to be real quick. I've never heard of them, so I do a little bit quick study of them. And if you go to the Consumer Affairs website, out of 1,579 reviews, they have a 1.5 star. That's not very good. So I guess one of the things is you guys might want to do a little bit of due diligence on the builders. The last thing we want to do is have to come in, build a lot of homes, and the value of the property is dropping in the next several years. So that's my case. It's just, I guess, just say do the research and a little bit. I know they don't look very good. They don't look very promising. So that's just what I got to say about it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else who has not already spoken? Okay, I will give those who have already spoken once one more opportunity. I don't care if you guys take turns, then bear with me.
I'm not sure how zoning works and everything. I'm not understanding the road frontage thing on a housing development. We considered one time trying to put a third house on our property. We couldn't do it because we didn't have enough road frontage just for a third house. So it probably works a little different with housing development. I don't know. Yeah, but another thing I wanted to say is the gentleman that spoke about why he moved out here. So he could burn, he could hunt, do all that kind of thing. Everything that's on our 15 acres, we put there. The pond, the trees, the house, the driveway, the hill that my house is sitting on, the horse pasture, the garage, the lay of the land, everything. When we bought that property, it was brush higher than you could see it. It was brush hog the whole thing and started from scratch. So I guess I'm saying that to say this, that this is going to be going on all around us. And you may see a lot of me because I'm going to defend our property with everything in me before and after the house is around. Because we're right next door, we have 15 acres right next door. And there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that we put in that property. And now we're going to see this housing development going right next door. So I just want to say that up front because I don't want people to think of me in the wrong way if I come to defend my property in one way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Trimmer?
I just had one question. Who is Basel Road, where this house is done, the way this is not technically inside corporation on the brick for this development yet? Okay, who is responsible for, let's say, the left turn lane going into that property? Who's responsible? Would that be county or in the county. Because, that needs to be addressed and taken care of before we let anything go in there. Is, because over on the Refugee Road where they built the, 2 schools there in Pickerington, that could have left turn lane going on, I think it's Pickerington Road there, from around the Refugee eastbound, going northbound. And excuse my language, but somebody had their hand in their ass and they approved that. So please don't do something like that out there. So I'm asking you to do here. I'm not sure who's going to be responsible to be out there, or the county, or somebody needs to have it all set concrete before they build out there. Thank you.
Thank you. We all done?
I know you guys are probably all sick of me, but like I said earlier, I take this very personal. Like, I grew up on that land. That's, in my mind, as a kid, my land. I can show you every ground go back there. So to just iterate on a couple of things that people said. You know, people are saying, growth is coming, we need growth. No, I don't know like what kind of blanket statement that is, but it's kind of getting under my skin a little bit. As far as races, people talk about Mexicans having up in homes and stuff like that. My son's Hispanic. I don't take it personal. It's a fact. They do. They pile up in homes and stuff. But my son's Hispanic. And he has had a ATL over time in this small town district to the extent that I don't want to get into. But there is a race issue, whether people agree with it or not, in this town, and I will cultivate, because there will be racist people in Amazon, Intel, this highway that they want to build, people coming down 204, the Kia boys and Pickerington, all this is, there is a race issue that probably cultivates. And also, back up what my dad said, when we talk about defending our land, and we joke about this frequently, because our land, our 15 acres, is a strip between the housing development and town. There will be kids cutting through, maybe trying to fish. We are going to see the riffraff, probably more than anybody, trying to smoke in our old barn, trying to jump the fences. I will have no trespassing signs every 12 inches on every tree I can staple on, and that's what that is. Probably not a look. Because we are going to be a part of land between that development and town, that development and the football field, that development and Oak Street, where kids are cutting through, causing riffraff, and it's going to be my parents, myself, my children, their 10 grandkids. They're horribly going to be dealing with that. And I don't know if you guys think it's going to be happy-go-lucky small town neighborhood, but I can tell you right now, there will be riffraff. You just go to the neighborhoods right now in 204. That's what's coming. So the need for growth is coming. So, I'm just stereotypical statements that if it's supposed to get people on board or not, I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say something about the school situation from our personal experience and what you may. So I moved from North Carolina to Pickerington. My mom moved to Pickerington because of how great the schools were. That's all she read was this area had phenomenal schools. When I was a freshman in high school, my life was a living hell. And if it weren't for open enrollment to Millersport, actually, I truly do not think that I would be able to be where I am at 26 years old, running a small business, owning a 21-acre horse farm, supporting my family. So I really hope that through all of this, no matter what the outcome is, that we can really focus on these kids who need a smaller community. The growth is inevitable, whether we want it or not. Does it have to be 58, 40 kids? About 400 kids. We don't know. Growth is inevitable. It's going to happen. All I'm asking is protect our kids. As somebody who went through it and somebody who now is like eventually planning on having her own kids and having my own family,
I moved to Baltimore for this. I know everybody. It's a really comforting, homey, safe place. Also, what a couple people had mentioned, I just sitting here for 4 or 5 minutes, I Googled them. So, and I got a lot of information off of a 4-minute Google search with a 1.2 star review and lots of reviews. So please be diligent. Please take care of our community, take care of our kids, take care of our properties, take care of our people, take care of the people that have made this town what it is. That's all.
Thank you. Well, I believe we've run the gamut of allowing everyone to speak. Now, as I said before, this is not a question and answer thing, but you are certainly welcome to stick around. VR Hort representatives said they will stay here and answer questions. But you're coming to the end of our public hearing. One last chance. Anyone else who has not spoken before would like to say something? Okay. I'm sorry. Jake, did you already sign in?
I'm Jake Huskins, 120 Main Street, South Main, just moved to Baltimore in October. And there's a lot of folks who've been here a long time. Chuck, it was really hard to find a house. My wife's family, no secret, my wife is actually the mayor's daughter. We wanted to move to Baltimore to be close to family. And I'm from a small town up down from more up in my area, which is Toledo. I pay a lot of money for really want to be a house because the market is insane and that's everywhere. And I think there's a lot of people that would love to allow us not just groups of minorities and struggle, but a lot of people would love to come here because it is a nice town. There's a lot of people that would love to be able to move close to family. We want to go to Baltimore and be close so our kids could be with grandparents. And you know, this is an opportunity. Yes, there's a lot of fear. And stay in 15 acres, so we're going to put some houses next to it. I feel a certain way. I grew up on 5 acres to this now 74. That was my family. So I understand. I totally agree. And at the same time, the town is going to grow eventually. And the important thing is that we do have a team of folks that are working really hard to make sure it grows appropriately. Also, I've done approximately, 10,000 residential construction projects over my career is construction project management. And I've worked with PR all over the country. And I have not seen all that happen. You might have experienced something else. I don't know where that development is. I hadn't had that experience, and I've worked in about 500 different building districts, zoning districts. And I also know a lot of the products that they use are actual good quality products. They use particular windows and doors that have a history of windows and doors industry. They're using those products that I don't have there's no second guess that quality product is or I would be probably not thrilled with them. So what I've seen, I think we're definitely for the theory to grow and control the way it grows the best we can. I'm excited about it. Yeah, but I'm also, I know I'm new to this town, but I'm here to try to help everybody. If they got an issue with the way it's going to go, I'm on your side. Let's talk about it as long as it's logical and reasonable. I'm for that. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, are there any comments from anyone on planning Zoom?
I would just say from this point on, there is a
I do have a phone line in the village. I've never not returned a phone call from somebody in the village. I had a concern. I would never not meet somebody. And I put a couple comments. I do know people that live in this town who are here. That good old boy system, when I ran for mayor, I didn't want that, and I hope that isn't the case. And I can't undo what was done years before. All I can do is call the forward from January 1st this year on. That's all I can do. So, call the village, call me, say money. But I'm telling you, really, this isn't something that we just didn't say, let's have this house, let's do this. We haven't done that. I feel like we've really done a lot of research and diligence. But with that said, I think we've talked it to death. I know your order will be there every day. If you want to go over, point something on that and ask them questions that are more back and answer. So with that, Kenny, I guess but it's up to you.
Well, I believe that it's all we have on our agenda. Our next meeting will be September, I'm sorry to have this in front of me, 12th, and at that point, we will be calling the vote on whether planning and zoning wishes to deny or approve. Now, on that note, this is only planning and zoning's recommendation to council. We can all be unanimous, either deny or approve it, and it's still go to council and go the opposite direction. So basically what this is all about is we're doing all the legwork, trying to cover all the bases. I mean, this is not something that is fly by night, not something that's happened just over. We're really trying to cover it. If you have any questions, please contact the village and someone will try to help you. So on that note, right here, a motion to adjourn. Second? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned at 8:40.